Welcome to this episode of the JJT BizzGrowth Challenge series videos. Today I am joined by Mario Berger from a company called Digital Forged IT Solutions. The link will be in the description eventually, but I've got a couple of questions for Mario, and he has graciously agreed to join us today. Welcome.
Thank you, Jock. Thank you for having us.
You're most welcome. All right, so Mario, the first thing that we need to do is clarify to our viewers what is IT and cybersecurity. So for those who might not be familiar, what services does an IT company provide to businesses?
Well, essentially, if you partner with the right IT company, you can think about it as having an outsourced IT department for your business, where they will provide you with support, whether it be remote or on site. You can expect them to do preventative maintenance, your cybersecurity, and as well. Yeah.
Okay.
And take care of your backups and your disaster recovery.
Okay. All right. How critical is IT infrastructure to a small to medium enterprise today?
Look, it's extremely critical because you need to have a contingency plan for when things do go awry, and you need to be proactive about it as opposed to try and be reactive about your IT approach.
Prevention is better than cure, hey?
Exactly.
What are the most common misconceptions business owners have about cybersecurity?
So the most common misconception that we find people have is they think it'll never happen to them. It's more a question of when and not if.
Yeah.
So just because it hasn't happened to you yet doesn't mean it's not going to. It's literally just your number has not been chosen as yet. It's a numbers game, not and not necessarily just by chance.
So, a few years ago, one of my clients almost got caught in a SaaS scam. So, that's the same kind of thing. He thought it will never happen to me. I deal with SaaS. And then he got this phone call from these people saying, I'm sending police to you. You need to sort this out. They are coming. And this guy hung up the phone. He phoned me. He's like, they're sending police. What must I do? Must I go with them or hide? I'm like, well, hang on. Let me check this. And then the scammer tried phoning him again. And so I went online. I went onto e-filing and took a look on his profile. There was no correspondence. He was tax compliant. All kinds of things. Because at first I thought we did something wrong, right? So went to look, see what happened, realized this is a scam, asked the guy, listen, what number is they phoning you from? Cell phone number. SARS will never phone from a cell phone number. And so when I saw that, I told him, don't worry, you're safe, the police are not coming. He said, okay, I'm still going to work at my sister's place. So he still went.
Look, it's always a question about, sometimes it's not very creative, it's just a simple email with a link in it. Sometimes they do get very creative where they already have all your information, and you literally just need to click the wrong link or press the wrong button.
Authorize it or something.
Or authorize it, or to answer the wrong call.
Yeah. So what are the biggest IT risks that businesses face today?
So the biggest risk is if you do get, or if you are the victim of a social engineering attack, or a cyber attack, your client's information could land up on the dark web, and you could potentially end up having to lose your business.
Right, so just for our viewers, I don't think everybody knows, what is a social engineering attack?
So that's exactly what your client kind of went through, where they're calling you saying, oh, Mr. So-and-so, you are in trouble, we are sending someone. It's essentially a cyber attack. I think it's a nice fancy word for that.
The way I understand it is that they are pretending to be someone they are not by finding information about you that they could leverage in order for you to give you to freak you out and to get you scared of police or something, trigger a panic response, and then you lose all rational thinking and you essentially give them all your money.
Exactly. I've seen examples where they impersonate some of the higher up execs in a business and send out emails impersonating them, signature, email address, the name that comes up on your email inbox, the whole entire thing. So they get really, really creative with these attacks.
So this reminds me, many years ago, I worked as on a non-profit with some other people. I was the treasurer, had some other chairmen and things like that. And this one random day I received an email from the chairman of the NPO, the chairman of the committee. And he said, you know, we need to pay this international vendor. And at that stage, it was plausible because we were arranging activities that included taking a group of people to Botswana and back. And he said, am I available to make a payment? This is quite urgent. And I'm like, okay, firstly, this guy never emails me. He will phone me. Secondly, he's Afrikaans. Why is he sending me an email in English? This guy's Afrikaans. So I just replied with, Percy? And in Afrikaans, Percy, why didn't you tell me this when we spoke this morning? Did you just get, you know, one? And then he replied, it's my email. This is my email. He phones me, he says, Jacques, it came from my email. So somehow then, you know, I received one of those emails, and the only reason I didn't fall for it was because I literally 10 minutes before spoke to him on the phone. So yeah, I was almost a victim of that.
Well, I've had a case where a friend who started up a solar business not too long ago had instances where her invoices that would go out would never make it to the client. Or the client receives a different invoice with different banking details as if it's from her. Or sometimes, and in other cases, they just received angry German porn. Well, that's how she put it.
All right. Sorry. All right. So, what are the most common types of cyber threats targeting small businesses?
Definitely your phishing emails. First and foremost, the start of the engineering attack is just a dodgy email. And then from there, you know, they start getting creative with the phone calls, the SMSs, messages, or if your, like I said, if your account's already compromised, then, you know, emails going out looking as if they're coming from your inbox directly.
How can businesses protect themselves from ransomware and other cyber attacks?
So first and foremost, employee awareness, employee training, sending your employees on for courses on how to prevent or how to prevent becoming a victim on a social engineering attack. That's going to be your first step, because your employee is going to be your weakest link, and that's where they're going to try and get in.
Don't click dodgy links. Hey?
Don't click the dodgy links.
What role does employee training play in cybersecurity?
Definitely, it is going to be your first line of defense is your employee awareness against this sort of thing. Kind of thinking twice about opening a mail that they don't recognize or they don't know, questioning everything, verifying everything, and that's going to be the starting
point.
That's going to be the starting point.
All right. It's in our industry, we very often get clients calling us saying that, is this really from SARS? And then it's not. So there's a lot of emails, especially from the authorities, or where authorities and banks are cloned.
Yes,
or
I think because they deal with your finances and a lot of sensitive information. That's going to be the part where they focus the most, because that's the easiest way to get in, because we trust the banks, we trust SARS.
And you're afraid of SARS.
Yes. So they target the trust relationship that you think you have with your service provider.
Okay. Yeah, we've seen that. We very often have to verify for clients whether this is in fact from SARS. How or how should businesses approach things like passwords, authentication, and access control?
So businesses should really use those tools that are available with that sort of thing. So having a multi-factor authentication, regularly updating your passwords, not using the same password for different sites repeatedly, because if one site, even I've seen examples of where Canva had a data breach, and they basically take your username, password, email, and they go and use that information to try and hack other sites. So because your information just becomes easier to then use and get into different sites. So if you keep using the same password for different sites, it just makes it that much easier. They don't necessarily even just have to send you a dodgy link. Someone else in a different business could have clicked a dodgy link and your info could have gotten leaked elsewhere. And now they have that and they can attempt to use it. So definitely update passwords regularly. Do not use the same passwords, and have your multi-factor authentication. I mean, Google's really good with that, and you get an app lately now as well that links up with all of that.
Also, keep your password secret.
Well, yes.
So
stop using 1234 as a password lock.
No, we have a lot of clients that would send us their username and passwords for e-filing for us to check something out or even work for that, and it's something that we very often discourage. A lot of accounting systems have the option to add various users with different kinds of permissions, and now we're working together on this thing. All of a sudden my laptop stopped working or my password doesn't work anymore. I'll ask, hey Mario, I need to do this. Are you working on this system? No. Can you log in for me? You give me your user details and I keep on working and we can get the job done and the client is happy. But at the end of the day, you might have different permissions than I do. You might have more permissions than I do. Your permissions might include access to sensitive data, which all of a sudden now I have.
Yes.
And that's the kind of thing that a lot of people don't always think about.
They don't. So again, people just trust everyone willy-nilly, and we need to really think about those trust relationships and who you trust with what.
Employee training.
Employee training, first and foremost.
Alright. So what are some affordable ways that small businesses can improve their IT security?
I mean, keeping your Microsoft up there, well, if you're the type that use Microsoft, like most of the guys out there, keeping your updates up to date, your security updates up to date. Definitely, even if you can't go and do full-on training, which is recommended for your employees, at least just kind of have them to just think twice about everything and question everything, and also to change your passwords regularly. I mean, it costs you nothing to change your password regularly, or at least have a unique password for different sites.
Yeah, but it's so easy to remember a single password.
That's true. I mean, a lot of us like to use the same password over and over again. I'll give you a nice tip or trick, whatever you want to call it, to make it a bit easier for yourself to have a unique password while using your preferred or your favorite password for everything. But it's not foolproof, so don't hold me to it. Okay, but what you can do is, if you do enjoy your one password, I'll give you an example. Mario is awesome 21. Okay, and you're wanting to use this for Facebook, use the first and last letter of whatever site at the beginning and at the end of your password, and keep the middle as you prefer, but include some numbers and letters and capitals and that sort of thing. So as an example, then for Facebook it'll be F Mario is awesome 21. Okay, and if, let's say, Instagram, you'll start with an I at the beginning and end with an M with your nice little password in the middle. So that kind of makes it easier already to have a unique password, but still remember the password for the different sites.
So then essentially you don't have a password, you have a password formula.
A password formula is a good way of putting that, yes.
Alright, I think of formulas and things like that. So how can businesses leverage IT to improve efficiency and reduce their costs?
So definitely keeping your hardware Keeping in mind the lifespan of hardware is 2 to 3 years. That'll be your laptops, your desktops. So keeping those up to date with the newest models that come out, if I can put it that way, with regards to, I guess, your processors and the newer generations, and the latest Windows and that sort of thing. I mean, Windows just went through a big thing now last year to say we are ending support for everything other than Windows 11. You're not going to get security updates. So now, keeping your business hardware up to date, where you can run Windows 11, you'll still get the latest security updates, as an example. What you can also do is just think about if your IT provider can give you preventative maintenance. That'll, as an example, be if your doctor were to call you and say, Jock, I see Mario is increasing your blood pressure, please come in so we can have a look at that. Essentially, your IT company should be able to do that for you as well. Is to say, oh, we see something's happening here, let's have a look at that preventative maintenance to reduce downtime, which will also help you to reduce your cost and to be more efficient.
And I also think prevention is better than cure. I mean, take a look at the where you are in Benoni. I mean, if they did preventative maintenance on the electrical infrastructure, you guys wouldn't have that many power
and have more
outages.
Electricity, yes.
Yes.
how great would that be?
and they now the argument is they can't do maintenance. It's too expensive. They don't have money, so they can't fix the things that are actually breaking down. Same thing we had with Eskom years ago.
I would say potholes as well. If they were to maintain the roads more, I wouldn't have as many flat tires.
So it seems true with IT then. Prevention is better than cure.
Exactly.
How can businesses ensure their IT systems scale with growth?
Okay, so there's a couple of points to this question. So one of the first ones is to move towards scalable infrastructure. So that basically means that you have cloud backups in place, make it a lot easier for your data to be in a controlled space. Okay. You can standardize your systems. So, as an example, the type of laptop you use, it makes it much more efficient when onboarding and or offboarding new or employees leaving. Okay, so that makes a lot of your IT headaches a lot less. You can also think about automating where possible your backups, your preventative maintenance. Also prioritize security from day one, where you already have your employees thinking about everything from the get-go, and not only when there has been a problem already.
Okay. Prevention is better than cure.
Prevention is better than cure.
Right. What are common IT mistakes that slow business growth or might create risks?
So again, your employee being your weakest link, reusing the same passwords, perhaps partnering with an IT company that can't necessarily get you as quickly as they would like to. Sometimes guys do get snowed under, and I've seen in a lot of cases where the engineers will tackle the most critical first, as it should be. But I mean, if you're not the first in the queue, you're going to sit and wait for some time. So that is definitely something to consider.
And one thing that you mentioned, that the employees are the weakest link. So props, that's you, right? I remember back in the day when I was a self-employed, small sole proprietorship type of situation. I did everything. To me at that stage, cash was the frustrating part, and I had to kind of react. I lost 4 days having to replace a hard drive because my hard drive just decided it went.
And no cloud backups, right?
No, but I was lucky because I got a new hard drive and one of those little boxies that you can make an external hard drive from a laptop hard drive.
Yes.
And when I used that, I was able to access the data on the cloud drive or on the failing hard drive, because it didn't completely crash. It was just continually failing, so it would crash the computer.
So that's what you have preventative maintenance for.
Yes, I've learned my lesson. This was 6 years ago.
Yeah, but I guess in that case, having a contingency plan definitely will help with that issue, because I think a lot of people make the mistake of not having one.
Yeah.
When something does go wrong, we'll call the IT guy then. No. When something's about to go wrong, your IT guy should already know about it. If they're doing their thing correctly, assuming that you have an IT guy. I do understand some people don't see the need necessarily, and those are the guys that will have to pay reactively as opposed to proactively, because
prevention is better than cure.
Yes.
All right. What IT or cybersecurity compliance regulations should businesses be aware of?
Well, definitely, your POPI Act, and you could also have a look at the GDPR, which is the European standard, and make sure that you comply with at least the POPI, but the GDPR is a good framework of what you can expect as well.
Right. How can businesses ensure they are protecting client data in line with all these legal requirements?
So you would need to think about, encrypting your data, isolating your network. You can have a look at some of the VPN options that are out there, and then of course verify everything 100 times.
So one thing that is now relatively new, that I know a lot of our clients aren't necessarily aware of, that is the thing called the information regulator, where annually companies have to submit a report to the information regulator to say that we are compliant with all of these things.
Yes, so there are instances where some businesses do need to be able to prove that they are ready with a disaster recovery, or with what kind of security they have in place with their IT partner. I can't remember what the name of the board is, but some business, I think like you guys, kind of have to hand in that information already.
It's not just us. So for us, it's there's a lot of these compliance matters that we need to do. Make sure it's anti-terrorism, anti-money laundering, with the FICA, the FIC, the Financial Intelligence Center, that we are also now compelled to be members of. But the information regulator is applicable to every business that holds client data, regardless of what the data is. It's applicable. And so that's why CIPC has made it easy. You can just submit your information regulator report directly on CIPC, which is the company's intellectual property commission.
Okay.
So you can just do the submission through there, but a lot of people don't even know about it.
Well, that's I guess where you come in. You speak to your clients and say, "What are you doing with your stuff?" I'm guessing you can also speak to your insurance broker for your business, your commercial insurance broker. They might also give you a good guidance to what kind of plan you can have with regards to a data breach.
Any kind of third-party insurance policy.
Yes,
so
from that point of view.
If damages are claimed because of your data breach, and you're covered.
Yes.
Prevention is better than cure. Yeah. Good point there. All right. So, what are the consequences of a data breach to a small to medium business?
Look, other than you potentially having to close your doors, you could also face a 10 million rand or up to a 10 million rand fine, and I think up to 10 years in jail, if I'm not mistaken.
And that's just under the pop here.
Yes.
Yeah. No.
Never mind the international stuff.
I'm not going to jail for anybody. Right. What IT trends or technology? So completely different topic now. So this is future looking. What IT trends or technologies should business owners be preparing for in the next 12 months?
I would say keeping up with the changes in AI and how much people use AI, but also how AI is can be used to infiltrate your business. With regards to them, uh, pretending to be you, or copying your information and using AI to automate a lot of that now and make it a lot more simple for them to impersonate someone else.
I did not think of it that way. So for me, AI is a tool that should make your job easier and things like that. And a lot of people still use ChatGPT as if it's Google, which is useful. But
true, but now I think in the same instance as you think your AI makes your job easier, for them it might make their job easier as well. The social engineering tech guys, it makes it easier for them as well.
Because they have access to the same information, and when you interact with LLMs, language learning models like ChatGPT, I'm just saying that out loud for the viewers. You are essentially sharing information with the AI platform, and there's a database that if it's taken captive or if it's compromised, then all that info is out there.
Again, a lot of us share a lot of info with stuff like your AI bots. We share a lot of info. We share our pictures. We share our job titles, our places of work. What we do, depending on what you use AI for.
Especially within the last week or so, with that new use ChatGPT for that caricature. Yeah, I've seen that all over social media.
Yes, and I've seen hundreds of videos where they say how that data can now be used for something else, because now it owns all of that info that you give it, and it owns the photo that you give it.
I just recall, I think it was in the last week or two, I saw an article where Disney bought ChatGPT or invested in OpenAI something like $1.6 billion US. So Disney owns that now.
Oh, wow. Look, I've also seen an article this morning saying that they're not sure if they can keep up with the amount of resources that AI uses, because apparently it takes up quite a bit of space, quite a bit of money to keep all of those servers running all the time. So the article, a lot of
computing power necessary.
Yes, so the article I had seen said they might run out of money and resources to keep that stuff going by 2027. So it's something that certainly to go look up, do your own research, but don't fall down the rabbit hole, because you might not come back out unscathed.
So if you want to use AI, generate your own AI internally, or implement your own AI internally.
I mean, if you've got the money, like the people from Stain IP who have their own AI, sure, but most of us kind of rely on your ChatGPT, your Geminis, that sort of thing. So, yes, it can grow, it can help your businesses. It makes it easier, I think, for them to also now, if there were to be some sort of data breach, there's a lot of info that we give to AI for free that these guys can use to impersonate us, get into our networks, use our info to get to our clients, and use their info to get to their clients as well. So it kind of just grows the web. But also keep in mind that there are the doomsayers that say AI might go down. So do your research.
Interesting. How often should businesses review or upgrade their IT systems and security protocols?
So, your protocols, I would say, a password change every 90 days, I think, is the
standard recommendation.
The standard recommendation for businesses. Your hardware, I would say, 2 to 3 years, if you are in the position to do so, because that's generally the lifespan of a laptop, well, in corporate businesses anyway. So the one-man show businesses might take a little bit longer, but certainly try to speak to your IT partner to see what they can do for you. Having a very good antivirus as an example also makes quite a difference.
That needs to update almost daily.
But also, maybe reach out to the guys that do the cyber awareness training. There are quite a few guys, especially I think in our network as well, there's a couple of guys that do this sort of training. And see, I think once every 6 months perhaps go through a training course to keep up to date with what the new developments are with regards to social engineering attacks.
Good idea. Good idea. So if a business could implement one cybersecurity measure today, what should that be?
Employee cyber awareness training, first and foremost.
That's a recurring theme that you've mentioned.
Because that's almost as if that's the back door into your business is going to be your weakest link, as we've said before. So we keep going back to the same point: prevention is better than cure. And how are you going to do that? You get your weakest links up, at least to a point where they can identify when something looks dodgy and not just click on anything, because they do the attackers are going to try and abuse your trust relationship. And again, employees shouldn't trust too easily. Not everything that comes into your inbox is just going to be a client mail or something from management. These things can be camouflaged so well, like we said, especially the stuff from your financial institutions.
All right. So if you could give every business owner, not just small to medium entities, larger businesses, any business owner, one piece of advice about their IT, what would it be?
Go proactive and not reactive. Partner with an IT business that can, be proactive about your needs, as opposed to trying to pay for stuff once it goes wrong. An example, I had a lady whose son messed around with her laptop. Her son is in his 30s, so it's not as if he didn't know what he was doing. And she called me saying, now something's wrong, they can't do anything. We had to send someone out 4 hours, so 4 hours of labor and a call out fee later. She paid is what she had to pay, as opposed to what she could have almost paid for a year to have as a retainer with us, where she would have had proactive IT support and unlimited support. She now had to pay reactively, and that one call out basically cost her almost what a whole entire year would have cost her.
All right. So be proactive. Prevention is better than cure.
Prevention is better than cure.
Thank you very much.
Also, don't use the same passwords. If you like watching dodgy Asian content, please update your passwords on the regular, and also don't use the same passwords.
Thank you very much for coming through, Mario.
Thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. Please like the video if you found it interesting. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Give us your questions in the commentary, and between Mario and myself and our team, we'll take a look at it, see if we can find answers for you. Alternatively, feel free to go check out Digital Forge's website. The link will be in the description, and enjoy your weekend.